Welcome back to another episode of Primility Primer, our morning reminder of the power of balancing pride and humility as we go about our daily lives. This is episode number 78. I am your host, Jared Morris, and it is Thursday, which means that it is Thank You Thursday, the day each week where we take a step back and recognize something that we are grateful for. Well, I recognize something that I'm grateful for in hopes that it will spur you to do the same, whether that's simply to recognize it silently to yourself, to take the step of writing a thank you card, whatever it is, but to really recognize something that we're grateful for and then hopefully communicate that to the person or whoever it is, even if it's just to yourself and you write it in a journal. Maybe take some action based on the gratitude. And today, I want to say thank you to someone that I've had the pleasure of working with over the last, I guess, year now, about a year. But you may remember about a week ago, maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 episodes when I was in Philadelphia, I talked about how I was kind of starting to feel overwhelmed with just some different work projects and personal things that, all were kind of converging at once on the calendar, on the to-do list. And, one of the things I actually mentioned was this project that I had wanted to do for one of my other side projects, the Assembly Call. We were trying to put together this 50 Greatest Hoosiers content library and kind of a celebration of Indiana basketball history. And I really wanted to get it done before the season started. And I'd gotten some work done on it, but had kind of fallen behind, and it was kind of frustrating me because I didn't think it was going to happen. And I had kind of resigned myself to the fact that it wasn't, because again, that was kind of the point of that episode is, you got to make some tough choices, and you either have to accept it or you got to do something about it. And that was one of those things that I said, okay, it's not totally critical. Let me, push this off, and it just won't happen. Well, Will DeWitt is a guy who joined the Assembly Call as an intern last year. Once that internship period was over, asked if he could stay on, and has become really a full-time member of our staff. And he stepped up last weekend, asked me some questions about the project, where it was, what he could do, and I let him know. And he stepped up and basically finished everything that we needed except for the last little bit to get us to a point where we could release it. And like I said, I had resigned myself to this not happening. I was going to put it off to the side. But Will stepping up and working over a weekend and really working hard and learning some new skills and doing some things that he didn't know how to do initially and then learned, stepped up and made it happen to the point where we were able to do kind of a soft little beta launch this week with it. And now we can use it during the season, as we're on our shows, as we're talking to our audience, tell them about this new project that we have, which I know people are going to love, and which never would have happened in time if Will hadn't stepped up with enthusiasm and really, just with the initiative of a leader to say, hey, what can I do? Let's make this happen. Kind of saw me, wheezing toward the finish line and yanked me and said, hey, let's finish this. We can do this. And so today's episode of Thank You Thursday goes out to Will because I really appreciate that enthusiasm and that leadership that he showed and that commitment to the project to do this, because he's not getting paid for this work. There's lots of other things that he could have been doing, but he stepped up and said, I can make a difference, saw an opportunity and did it. And it really made a big impact on me because it allowed me to get to a point that I had really wanted to get to. I obviously wasn't going to make it there by myself, but through this teamwork, through his just, again, commitment, willing to step up, be loyal, be humble, and get this work done. But also the pride to say, hey, I may not know exactly what I'm doing, but I can make a difference and I can do this. I really appreciate that. So today's thank you card is for Will, and I will read it to you right now. Dear Will, thank you for taking initiative and stepping up to help me finish the 50 Greatest Hoosiers project, or at least get it to a minimum viable release point. I had resigned myself to it not getting done before the season, but your enthusiasm and leadership helped, really drove us past the finish line. I appreciate it. I needed that. Now we're rolling. It's a pleasure working with you, and I appreciate all of your hard work and attention to the little things. It is making the Assembly Call better. Thank you. Let's have a great season. So, Will, thank you very much for that, for helping us get to that point. Truly appreciated, and there is no way that we would be at this point of releasing this project and actually being able to move forward with it without what you did. It would have been shelved, and we probably wouldn't have picked it back up until the end of the season. So really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And now I turn it over to you. Who is someone who you are feeling grateful for, What can you do to express that? Again, whether it's just think about it to yourself, write it in your journal, write a thank you card. As I've told you before, I have a gratitude box that a friend of mine got me. It's called A Year of Gratitude. It includes 52 thank you cards as well as a journal. You can actually go to primility.com/gratitude box, and it will redirect you to the site at Uncommon Goods or to the page at Uncommon Goods where you can get your own. That's an affiliate link, so it's a nice way to support Primility because we'll get a few bucks off that sale if you buy it. But don't buy it because of that. Buy it because you want 52 thank you cards on your desk that will compel you to write them every week. Having this box has been huge, and I love it. And I'm actually about to run out of thank you cards, so I have to buy another one. But that's the goal of Thank You Thursday. Let's step back, recognize what we're grateful for, communicate that, spread that out into the world. And it's all of our little way that we can make the world a little bit of a better, happier, more grateful place by taking the lead and expressing the gratitude that we feel. All right, everybody, thank you very much for being here. I will be back tomorrow morning with one final episode for the week. Until then, stay cognizant of your pride and your humility. And I will talk to you soon. Respond.